Hi there, it's Amy. Again, I'm here to have a little chat with you about little micro lessons, little mini ponderings. I come from an anthropology and social science background. I work in mental health, and I have had a lot of life experiences and met a lot of amazing, wise people, and I'm seeking to honour them through sharing some of these revelations and opening up some of these discussions. I think I also have realised that part of this is, for me, is wanting to join the collective conversation, but also, you know, I wish I had have known some of these things. I wish someone was talking about some of these things when I was younger. So, I'm sort of putting it out there. They may be relevant to you, they may not. Anyway, um, today I want to talk about controlling behaviour and how controlling behaviour is fear, without exception. All controlling behaviour is fear. So whether that is your micromanager at work, whether that is you that needs to have every detail controlled, whether that is somebody that you know, a loved one, a friend, a relative, who's always got to have that extra level of control. Let's have a chat and understand it a little bit more. So if you or someone else needs to control, it is always from fear, and it always comes from a lack of control. Now, it can come from a lack of control in a section of their life where they then need to over control another section of their life, or it can come from feelings of out of control from maybe past experiences or childhood programming or whatever like that. But anyone who needs to actually control is telling you they are out of control. They do not feel like they are strong in the situation. Yeah. So strength does not need to control as it trusts. Strength, coming from a position of strength, you will not find yourself needing to actually control things. You will not find your managers needing to overly control things. You will not find your relatives or friends needing to overly control things if they are feeling strong within themselves. Now, I need to differentiate between planning and controlling. Planning can help you maintain that feeling of strength and maintain, a structure to what needs to be done. Planning is healthy, but planning is very different from control. Planning is where everyone sits down together, or you sit with yourself, or however this goes, and you plot out the steps, what needs to be done. Control is coming in and going, is this step done, is this step done, is this step done, is this step done, is that step done, is everything done, da, 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 da. You feel the fluster, you feel the chaos. Somebody who's planned things and is coming in to monitor, oh, yep, so that's going on, yep, that's going on, yep, okay, that's good. That's a very different feeling than, I need to control it, I need to control it, I just need to control it, I just need to check this, I just need to double check this. That is a sign of somebody who is not feeling in control, who almost always has other parts of their life that they're overcompensating for. I actually know a CEO who at home has she is disempowered at home. In her relationship at home, she's disempowered. In the workplace, she is not only controlling but angry and volatile and goes off all the time. And, in this instance, I don't know, for whatever reason, the people around her don't call it out, and it seems to just be the way of things. But the controlling is a direct result of the outer control in other areas. So it's an overcompensation. So rigid control actually starts to restrict things. So, putting energy towards extrally controlling a thing will actually make it more difficult for it to unfold. So you're wanting a project to unfold, you're wanting an outcome from something. By coming in and actually controlling it, you're actually restricting the life force from it. You're actually removing the flow. You're actually making the people who are involved with it uncomfortable and less likely to do a good job with it. So your need for control is something you need to address within yourself. If you want to do something right, just, I suppose, do it yourself. If it really comes down to that, where you do not have trust of the people around you, and that's why you feel like you need to control them. But at some point, we all need to get to a realization that control is an illusion. Life unfolds. Things happen. Life is what happens whilst you're busy making other plans, and life is definitely what happens whilst you're trying to control everything. And the more you control, the less it's going to have, like, flourishing outcomes, whatever it is. So if you or others need control, if you or others need that extra layer of, look for the parts of your life or their life, depending on how far you want to go into it with someone else, of where they feel out of control. And, seek to maybe counterbalance that by maybe bringing in some sort of mindfulness practice or gratitude or something where everything isn't all happening out there and flustering. You create your Zen within you. You can create a sense of control within yourself. Another great tool, which I've probably mentioned in a couple of other videos, is the circle of control. So the circle of control is pretty much where your circle of what you can control is directly related to you. So this is things like you can control your responses, you can control your interactions, you can control how you're speaking to someone, the tone you're using, whether you respond at all. You can control how involved you are. You can control what tasks, you choose to do. Now, what's out of your control, there's a lot more in your control, by the way. I've just named a few, but what's out of your control is other people's reactions, other people's things, other people's responses to what you're doing, other people's emotional regulation. Anything that is anyone else is out of your control. Anything that is you is in your control. So to remember that can actually be really empowering. I know that I come from a little bit more of a flexible mindset, and but that wasn't always the case. When I was younger, I sometimes used to feel like I had to, get in there and either do it myself or control the situation. And again, that came back to me not feeling in control. I had lots of other areas of my life I was not in control of. And so it would overflow into certain areas. And it wasn't comfortable for me, and it wasn't comfortable for those around me. And I can say, and I mean, look, I don't think I had a large part of my life like that. I'm pretty, I don't need to hold on to things for too long. But by releasing that part of myself and actually trusting the flow, trusting other people, realizing that others are going to do things. I might need to tell them to do a thing. They're going to do it. They're going to do it in their own way. And sometimes their way might be more interesting or different or better than mine, or what I had as expectations there. But control is a rigid and restricted state. Trust, openness, good planning, proper communication is actually going to always get better results than extra control for everyone involved. All right. Thank you for listening. I hope this helped just a little tiny bit, and I'll see you next time.